I have a friend who, after many years of marriage, is still not blessed with a child. When I get a chance to talk with him, we talk about all sorts of things, all except his not having a child. It is this huge elephant in the room that nobody talks about. It is too sensitive a topic to force a discussion with. And I'm not one to force it when the person is not ready. I cannot imagine what it must be like not to have a child. I cannot imagine how they must have kept their hopes up for many years, how they waited for so long. They probably tried all kinds of interventions and they just end up with nothing. At a certain point, they must have just given up. It must have been very painful. Napakasakit umasa, maghintay, tapos mauuwi rin sa wala. Kadalasan, naiisip na lang nila na hindi kalooban ng Diyos na sila ay magkaanak. The Gospel writer Luke tells us about one such person in the Bible. In the first chapter of the Gospel according to Luke, we are introduced to Zechariah, a temple priest, a righteous person before God. He was blameless in his obedience to the commandments of God. But something about him was not right. Something in his life was missing. He, together with his wife Elizabeth, were childless. And they were too advanced in age that it was already impossible for them to have a baby. You know, in Jewish culture, a couple that is childless carries stigma. A sense of shame attaches itself to a couple that failed to have children. And this couple, Zechariah and his wife Elizabeth, carried this sense of shame all the way to old age. It is doubly burdensome to Zechariah, who is a temple priest, a servant of God. And yet, it seemed as if God had forsaken him. Then one time, while he was serving in the temple, a remarkable thing happened. We find this in the Gospel according to Luke. And there appeared to him an angel of the Lord, standing on the right side of the altar of incense. And Zechariah was troubled when he saw him, and fear fell upon him. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah, for your prayer has been heard. And your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John. And you will have joy and gladness, and many will rejoice at his birth. For he will be great before the Lord. And he must not drink wine or strong drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb. And he will turn many of the children of Israel to the Lord their God, and he will go before him in the spirit and power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready for the Lord a people prepared." Zechariah was promised a miracle. And more than that, Zechariah was to be the father of the great man of God, John the Baptist, the one about whom Jesus would later say that no one born of a woman is greater. Zechariah was to be the father of the one who was to prepare the way of the Lord. What a proud father Zechariah must have been. And what a blessing that must have been for a man who had been childless up to his old age, now has been given a son. As we reflect on the true meaning of the coming of the King of Kings this Christmas, and as we think about the tremendous blessing that Zechariah received as a father of John the Baptist and the uncle of Jesus, and knowing that for God, nothing is impossible, let us be reminded, faith matters too.